teams for game number 2. I have to say, I'm liking Virtus Pro just a little bit more here. Okay, so welcome again. This is the second game of the ESL One Hamburg close qualifiers. This is the finals for CIS region. I'm your caster, Moxie. Unfortunately, my co-caster did not get into the lobby in time, so you are stuck with me, just the play-by-play caster. I'm going to try my best to give you a full experience here, guys. Bugs coming out. Plus, it's a nice setup. And looking over at the draft coming out from Virtus Pro, I like this just a little bit more. It gives them the option to do split pushing. Clinks is going to pump out a lot of damage. The Death Prophet, of course, you know, having really solid spells. She'll be able to throw out silences. The Spirit Siphon is just a ridiculous spell. Does so much. And of course, you know, the Exorcism is kind of cherry on top of the whole kit coming out from this particular hero, and we've seen no one play this before. It does a ton. I believe it was paired up with a Faceless Void originally. So it doesn't have anything to kind of hold everyone in place this time, although you will have the slow coming out from the Chain Frost. And also you'll have, you know, Batrider Lasso holding at least one person in place. But it doesn't have quite as nice of a setup as it did in the game.
The battle begins.
It looks like Lil will be able to steal this route away from Iceberg. Seems like he was very unaware that that was going to be happening, and startled him a little bit. Looks like Pasha, he's looking to try to pull this wave over here. This is a strategy we see coming out from Batriders. We'll be able to go ahead and drag these creeps away. LTW doesn't seem very happy about this. Chikuchi's forward, tries to do a little body blocking, throw out a little bit more harass onto Pasha, but he should be absolutely fine. And while all this is going down, the creeps are coming out into lane and we'll be able to start chugging away on that tower. ILTW diving really, really far for this. I'm not sure why he's choosing to go all the way back. I guess he's just that upset about it. Tranquilize here. We'll be able to go ahead and get these creeps. He's actually stuck though. Needs to go ahead. Use a tango. He needs to be very careful. If anybody rotates, that could have been a very dead Weaver. Some movement coming out here in mid. We see already Solo sitting a little bit low. It's taken quite a bit of harass. Ramses is actually here in mid, so they actually sent no one into the safe lane with the Death Prophet. There's so much harass coming out from FNG though right now. Look at the Sadar creep. He just keeps nuking him down and he's forcing him like behind the tower. This little skelly man needs to run himself away. Oh, he's so low. Look at this. He's gonna have to pop the Fairy Fire. The creeps. That Dragon Slave not quite. He's at 24. And luckily, right at that moment, the courier will show up with a salve. The harass coming out over here onto Ramses is actually unreal. Look at that. Yet another nuke coming out from the Satyr creep, going to cancel out his full duration of the sound. Iceberg turning around. Light Striker Ray does land. And Lena, Iceberg, he's got to be so careful. Again, sitting very low, has his own salve. We'll be able to put off a couple clicks over onto the creep. This is a jam-packed middle lane right now.
My thrift rewarded.
Bottom lane, it's the matchup of DK Phobos and no one trying to just straight off here, get their last hits and a little bit of harass onto each other. But the pressure coming out from this Chen, FNG just keeps throwing creeps over here into the lane, trying to cause some problems for Ramses. In fact, Ramses looks like he's got himself another salve. That's 2 consumables and a clarity that he's needed. And here's the rotation coming out again. We've got Biver and FNG and the Centaur creep looking to just push Ramses out, and he's missing CS right now. He can't do anything with this many people here in his lane. Give like some casual clicks over onto Biver, but there's the telekinesis lifting him up. They were looking to get that stop. It's just a little bit too far out. Can they get this return kill onto FNG? Yes, Solo will be able to get first blood onto the Chen. Feel really good for Solo and Ramses after getting bullied out of their own lane. Checking in with the other lanes here. like Pasha's hit his level 2. Looked like he had to go back home. I'm guessing the Weaver's just been, you know, throwing out those casual clicks onto him, trying to just harass him out of lane. Meanwhile, bottom lane too, we see that Death Prophet. Oh, we get another kill over here in mid. Looks like Iceberg actually gonna go down this time. So despite all these resources that they're throwing at Ramses, he's actually coming out on top of this. And I think he's ferrying himself out. Yet another salve here on the courier. Yeah, another salve, another clarity. And ILTW in a little bit of trouble. He's taking a lot of burn damage here from the Firefly. He'll actually be forced to move himself back, pop his own salve. This is just consumable gaming, guys. The amount of pressure being placed on every single lane. It's insane. Bottom lane, we get the gank down over onto no one. We've got the Satyr. And there's the slow coming out, the roll coming in as well. He's still going to be able to get a kill though over onto Venomancer. DK Phobos will die, but they'll be able to get a kill over on one. And now Lil forced to be running himself back. They've got this army of creeps. There's another nuke being thrown out. Can they get it? Oh, they will. Looks like Biver will clean up. And now Venomancer coming back to lane. There's a lot more excitement going on in this second game here. First game, it seemed a little bit relaxed, a little bit more contented to kind of sit back and farm with the occasional let's throw everyone over at no one and Ramses, but got 5 kills in 4.5 minutes. And the sticky napalm is just so annoying. Pasha actually just going to chase around over here onto ILTW, try to put out as much harass as possible, knowing that he doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of regen, although he does have a bottle now, so that's going to provide him a little bit more regen and be able to stay in lane against Bat Rider, plus the wand, of course. But more pincering action again. They're just trying to disrupt no one. He's going to have to hide himself down here into the trees. Got a Venomancer, a Rubik, and FNG's got his creeps. Tornado coming out. They're going to try to use this to spot him out down here. There's nowhere that this Death Prophet can safely hide. Now look at these creeps. It's just... it feels like Navy SEALs going into position, just like, alright, target acquired. Soul Siphon coming out. We'll buy him a little bit more time. Should be able to maybe get the kill. No, it looks like he's not going to be able to grab DK Phobos just in time. Rotation coming out from Solo. That last hit will be able to get revenge. FNG now hiding himself into the trees. Will juke around, find himself a good position. And again, top lane, just the harass non-stop. There's the roll in though coming out from Lil. Still got their eyes over onto ILTW. Will be able to go ahead and make him pop that wand. And it looked like a fairy fire on top of that as well. Chen Creep hiding out over here onto the side as Solo hunts around, wants to get rid of him, but the harass coming out from DK Phobos. Again, Venomancer, you've played against him in your pubs. He's just so annoying to have to deal with. All of these wards just pumping out damage, pumping out slow. He's still chasing after Solo here. He even manages to grab that bounty, and this is going to be a dead Solo. They need to have someone rotate and maybe get some sort of a revenge kill here. Looks like Solo actually going to be able to make it out. We have Clinks around the corner. Ramses, he sees his opportunity. He wants to take this Venomancer out. Nobody wants to deal with him, and we'll be able to use that Scrape to get a kill. There's still Biver nearby. Iceberg also coming around the corner. They've got the Shrine up. We'll go forward. They throw the Telekinesis, followed up with Light Strike Array, and there's just too much damage. And now it looks like Lil gonna have to roll himself out of a bad situation.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
You know, it's a tough thing when your jungle isn't safe. You know, you feel like you can be safe in your own home, but before you know it, there's a Ramses Skelly Man running at you, and Solo's gonna get taken down. FNG just doing so much work on this Chen. Now we have double damage rune that's about to run out here over on Iceberg. They still have everyone else sitting and waiting in position. That lift coming out from Biver does so much work because if you can get that off, you can get a lot of these other spells. The Light Strike Array is guaranteed setup unless someone has Force Staff, but it's way too early for that right now. Roll in. Iceberg will be able to move himself out of the way. And we see more pressure being placed down here bottom over onto no one. They do have this nice ward giving them vision. She should realize that there is a lot of unfriendly people here. Ramses thinking that he was safe earlier when he went to do that rotation onto the Venomancer, but then the rest of the team just showed up in full force. And this is just kind of the draft that we're seeing coming out from Team Spirit. It's very aggressive. They've got a lot of pushing potential between the Chen and, of course, the Venomancer.
Money to burn.
During all of this, there's basically no pressure being placed up here onto ILTW. You know, occasional harass coming out from Pasha, being able to stack some of the sticky napalm and also throw out the Firefly. But otherwise, there's been really no one in his lane. Alright, I lied. There's been a Lil that shows up occasionally. Occasionally, Lil will show up, try to put even more pressure, but it's a Weaver. It's pretty hard to pin him down when you don't have any hard stuns. And again, bottom lane. Soulside coming out over onto DK Phobos will be able to get that kill. We do see the rotation coming out. They're not going to be able to go after that. They don't want to have to deal, especially when they see the other TP coming out from Lil here. It is just Lil though, so I'm not sure if FNG will want to move forward on this. Biver coming forward, taking advantage of the fact that he can do a little guessing. They do spot out the Earth Spirit. It's a nice Wild Ring Ripper over here on the side too for FNG if he feels so inclined. Otherwise it's fairly quiet. Looks like Weaver went home from the top lane. I think he got a little too much harass thrown onto him. Pasha actually hit level 7. No lasso yet. They do spot over onto the side though. They'll be able to take down Biver. He's been a thorn in the side of no one this entire time. Creep's turning back around though. Are they going to be able to get this? No, they're going to back themselves off. They do get the kill over onto Lil. No one's just a little bit too fast. Does not get landed with that Light Strike Ray. Iceberg's in a lot of trouble here. He actually gets taken down with the Crypt Swarm. And they'll be able to throw out the, boy, the Chain Frost doing so much damage. It looks like no one's still going to get taken down though. Nice rotation coming out from ILTW. He does have his eyes over here on a particular Lich, trying to get that last hit. And he gets a double kill for his efforts. So, Ghosts get popped down here in the bot lane, so does Chain Frost. They do get themselves a couple kills, but then at the last minute, ILTW, he makes his way down to the bot area, himself a double kill, and that's the core. That's definitely worth it to, like, go down to the bot lane, stop your farming, especially because he is, you know, I don't want to say necessarily struggling against the Bat Rider, but it's not the most comfortable lane when you've got all that sticky napalm and, you know, occasionally have that wonderful Firefly being thrown everywhere. They do try to initiate though down here on DK Phobos. He's all scienced up. Will try to juke himself around in the trees, but they say, oh, to heck with your trees. We're just gonna break them down. There's the Gale coming out from Phobos. He's trying to find an opening. We'll be able to go. Oh, he's sitting so low. The Crypt Swarm's coming out. Biver's stealing Crypt Swarm as well, but it looks like no one finds him over here in the corner. They will be able to get the Radiant Courier during all this. It had a one of the Tomes of Knowledge. Could be a lot worse for them. Weaver's still down here in the vicinity. During all that excitement, I forgot to change net worth.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So much pressure. They just seem to like to put as much pressure as they can over here onto no one. They'll actually drop the bugs down. Soul Siphon coming out, Spirit Siphon out. They're coming back around. That's a nice save coming out. They'll actually be able to turn around, take down Biver, force Weaver to use the time lapse. And unfortunately, that silence just maybe a little bit too slow for no one to be able to keep that Weaver in place. But nice kill over onto Biver. Now with all of this, how many kills do we have under no one's belt now? He's got 5 kills, 3 assists. So the pressure's definitely on, but at the same time, he's racking up the kills now, and that's really scary. You don't want to let this guy get ahead. ILTW is still hanging out here in the bot lane. They don't want to give up hope on possibly getting this kill. The Gale actually not connecting over onto no one. He's going to try to run himself around, use a Spirit Siphon, buy himself some more time. And Spirit Siphon actually breaks. With that nuke with Rubik, ILTW will be able to get the kill.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Alright, we've got the mass TPs coming out. They don't want to give up this tower. Beautiful front forward here with the lasso. Going to be able to immediately grab ILTW, take him out. The Laguna Blade just going to totally erase our poor Earth Spirit over here. The Shikuchi gets picked up from Root. Will just run himself backwards, turn themselves back around. Nice ultimate coming out. They're trying to put some damage over onto Ramsey. Hyver's standing nearby here. He's actually going to be able to run forward, get the kill over onto Pasha, and it looks like Solo's in a lot of trouble too. Light Strike Array comes in, does not quite connect. Lots of damage coming out from Ramses here, but he has to be careful because he does have all of that lovely Venomancer stuff over here onto him as well. And now Biver, he knows they've got a Sentry on the side. He wants to go back in. Can't decide where exactly he wants to go, and he actually got Bone Walk, not the Shikuchi, obviously. That's on the other team. We'll be able to get that kill. Probably going to pay for this with his life. Try to juke around. No, he's got Bone Walk up again. Oh, man. Biver making use of the spell. They keep tabs over onto Ramsey and they realize that he's left. All that fighting though, and still no bottom tower. This is why I usually have a co-caster, guys, because sometimes I mess up. So yeah, the Bone Walk, Rubik must be really happy to steal that. I was wondering, because it looked like he had been invisible for way longer than a Shikuchi, and then I remembered, yeah, Shikuchi, same teammate, can't steal your teammate's spells. That would be incredibly broken. So right now, Ramsey's at the top of the net worth, 4.9k, 4.7 over up and running on Weaver, and 4.5 on Death Prophet. And despite all of the attention that no one has been getting there in the bot lane, worked out okay for him. He got 5 kills under his belt, does have 4 deaths, but 3 assists. And sitting at third top net worth. They do get a kill though over onto Iceberg here in the jungle, and that's the scary thing about having a Clinks on the map, especially when he's top of the net worth. They do spot over here onto the side. They're going to be able to try to grab Pasha. That's the damage coming in. Firefly comes out though. Oh, it looks like DK Phobos is just absolutely toast, burnt to death by Pasha and a Crypt Swarm. We'll be able to get a denial though over here on the side as well. Stop, there's just too many creeps coming out here from FNG. They get the kill. There's the Chain Frost thrown out. We'll get a couple bounces. Hand of God comes out. Looks like now, look, ILTW, he's still hot on the prowl, wants to get this kill over onto Solo. They'll be able to go ahead, clean up over onto Lil, and this little bug, he's just so slippery. We'll be able to get the kill over onto the Lich, and Ramsey's, again, last man standing.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Definitely a huge fight. See the fight recap after all that. There's the lasso coming out though, immediately over here onto Lina. They will be able to get the kill. Ramsey will be the one to clean it up, and they still know that there's a little bug over here. Pasha taking a lot of damage will be able to go move himself over onto the high ground and blink himself away before that last little plague ward can touch him. A little bit of shrine time. I like to joke in my pubs that the family or the team that shrines together stays together, and then I get really mad when people use it without me, especially when I ping that I'm on my way. But you know, that's Dota 2 for you. It happens. Let's see here. No one. Got Exorcism back up. They do spot Ramsey's out over here on the corner, and they say, "All right, you need to be careful, Phobos, because you've got a little Skelly man in the vicinity, and he's gonna be able to pump out a lot of damage and take you down if you're not careful." Meanwhile, while this is going down, FNG has plunked himself down in a lane here. It looks like he's going for the Ags as his next item. And already Ramses, he makes his way into this dire jungle, gonna be able to go and farm up the creeps and try to starve them out of their own area. Dessa's gonna be online shortly for him as well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
A lot of creeps over here on the side. He will go ahead and get himself a nice tasty one. And the push is still going on down here in the bot tower. DK Phobos trying to just put as many of these little plague wards down, take it out. And it looks like they're just going to go for a full-on trade. We do have Exorcism up and running over onto no one. I'm not sure they're going to go for... Yeah, they won't actually pop this here. I think they'll save that for the team fights, considering they have that Clinks. Bottom tower does finally go down. And we're seeing, they know that they're up top. They'll just invade the Radiant jungle and instead try to farm it up that way. We're getting closer and closer to this Blink Dagger. Just going to be really, really good for him. There is, of course, an Iceberg standing nearby. And they're going to move together, maybe try to find some sort of jump? I lied. It's just going to be some creeps to hit. They do realize that there was a ward over onto the side. It's already taken down. Oh, but the jump forward immediately. The smoke breaks. Lasso coming in immediately over here onto the side. Going to be able to try to grab Lina. Lots of damage coming out from the chain. Bouncing off of those neutrals over onto the side. However, the Soul Siphon's too much for him. He's going to get taken down. FNG now trying to run himself away. But this Pasha, he's out for the kill here. Follow up with ILTW. I don't know if he really wants to go in on this. This is looking real scary. Venomancer actually trying to run himself out, but he's on the wrong side of the river. The stun comes out from Lil. There's the medallion being used over onto DK Phobos. They'll be able to take him down. And ILTW this time, the last man standing, They ping out over here on the side. They're like, there's got to be a ward there. And there was a ward there. It literally just went down.
Illusion.
Bloodstone, next item being worked on here by Iceberg. He's having a little bit of a rough here. They've jumped him a couple times. He's had 6 deaths. FNG just back at work, trying to get that axe. Does have 2 components of it now, though, so it should be coming online fairly soon, as long as he doesn't have any more deaths. And Rubik, of course, you know, he was getting closer and closer to that blink that obviously set him back quite a bit in that last engagement. It's like another altercation coming on over here onto the side. They're going to be able to go ahead and use the ghost for the Roche. Rams is going to go ahead. They do have the medallion up and running. So Roche is going down very, very quickly. And I don't think that the side of Team Spirit wants to contest this. They've already got that. Aegis pick up over here. Went over onto no one as he is the favorite target, so it seems, for the side of Team Spirit.
My thrift rewarded.
And they're going to make their way down to the bottom tower. They do have the smoke over on Pasha and over on Solo. Rod of Atos going to be picked up over on Solo. That is an amazing item. I'm a big fan of that item just because, you know, it gives you a little bit more in to work with. And of course, the range on it is just absolutely insane.
My just reward.
Invisibility.
It's like Team Spirit grouping up a little bit over here. I don't think they're gonna... Yeah. They do spot out over here on the side immediately. No one. He does Aegis. I'm not sure if they want to go and jump on him necessarily, but they will find themselves a Lil. And I think that's going to be good enough for them. Although, yeah, they will be able to land Light Strike Array. The Science comes out, but again, they'll take him down. Ramsey's pumping out so much damage over onto DK Phobos. He's trying to run himself out, but this Soul Siphon just... The slow coming out, plus the damage coming up from Ramses is just too good here. Solo, now he's tailing over here onto Iceberg. They do spot out, though, that there's a Weaver nearby. ILTW, nice dodge, though, coming out from Light Strike Array. Chain Frost comes out, only gets 1 bounce, though, over onto Iceberg, and we've still got this little bug running around in the back. The Silence comes out from the Death Prophet, but he's going to be able to time-lapse. Eul's coming out as well now. Lena's in a little bit of trouble. Tries to go move herself out, and it looks like we're going to lose FNG. We're going to lose Iceberg as well. Ramses is on Mega Kill. It's been really important during a lot of these fights, too, that Ramses actually does not actually fall in most of these. He's only actually died once, but he's come very, very close a couple times now. If we go ahead and look at the graphs, Spirit having about a 1,000 net worth lead at around, I want to say like 18, 19 minutes, but it's starting to trend over to the side of VP as they're taking really nice engagement. These smokes have just not been working out for Team Spirit. They need to be really careful now. I think they need to reevaluate how they want to approach a lot of this because Ramses is getting bigger and bigger and has not fallen except once in all of these fights. The hood over up and running on Death Prophet, super important when you've got all the magic damage coming out from the Venomancer. And of course your Lena. It's making her quite tanky and difficult to take down, plus the Yule's giving her a little bit more time whether she wants to use it offensively or defensively. But the tower gets denied bottom. DK Phobos says, I don't want to give you that full amount of gold. And we do have Ramses. He's on the prowl over here. Immediately jumping forward, though, they want to just obliterate DK Phobos. They've had enough of this Venomancer. And now they can turn their attention to the tier 2 on the side. In the meanwhile...
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now they do Exorcism. I think they're going to save it for the high ground here just because they do have Aegis. Mid tower is going to get taken down over by Team Spirit. They know they can't defend that tier 2 at this particular time. So they're going to be happy with this tier 1. Maybe try to push the wave a little bit more, but then go back. They don't want to give up buildings in their base at 22 minutes. And the exorcism gets popped over here by no one. Coupled with the fact we've got a Desolator over on the Clinks, this tower is just going to melt. And the rest of the side of Spirit not bothering to come home to defend. It's literally just Biver right now, although Lena making her way over. And we do see that ILTW takes the mid tower, so best possible outcome, getting that mid tier 2. They still have their bottom tier 3, and of course having the double damage rune on ILTW probably doesn't hurt. We've got Dragon pickup now for Chen as he has his Ags. Not sure what just happened. Lots of pings coming out though. Ramsey's a little bit in the danger zone here. Although now I would say that DK Phobos is actually more in the danger zone, because Ramses can easily burst him down. This Venomancer pick, unfortunately, is not working out really great for the side of Team Spirit. Venomancer not in the top net worth. In fact, just a little bit higher than the Earth Spirit support. More wards get dropped. Want to keep tabs. They know that Flanks has been hanging out in their jungle, and they don't want to be able to you know, they did smoke earlier directly under a ward, so it's possible they're grouping again to get some sort of a smoke. It looks like Iceberg getting his Fiery Soul stacks up as well. And yeah, that looks like all the coverage here. One sentry ward over here. We'll be able to know that there is a ward, but they don't have any sentries on the side of the Dire in that particular area. We won't know that. Not sure what's going on here. It looks like they really want to smoke. I'm guessing the Venomancer is just pushing out the waves and they're waiting for him. Meanwhile, in mid... I say meanwhile way too much. I've just realized that. We have Clinks doing a bit of scouting. They've got to realize that something's up since no one else is showing on the map except for DK Phobos and ILTW. And they're making their way down now, even though Clink's in the top lane. Still doing a little bit of scouting, wondering where everyone is. We'll be able to push out this wave. And a D-ward comes out over on the side. Chen popping his ultimate. And do know that Weaver's nearby. He just ran right over that sentry ward. There's the lift coming out though from Biver. The Silence will come out over onto Weaver as well. Stones get kicked off. Blink's trying to fight those. This is going to turn into an actual fight. Pasha going to be able to pop the Lincolns though, and there's the Venomancer ult coming out on top of that. All the Chain Frost plus the Magnetize. This is looking very bad for Spirit. Looks like FNG will get taken down. Still trying to run out over here is the lead. She's silenced up. She's going to get murdered. And now ILTW trying his best to run out. Biver going to be able to make it up. But look at these ghosts. They just keep chasing. Weaver just a little bit too speedy. Not going to be able to kill, but they'll turn this into a siege. Oh, they get the Chen creep too. And the only person they lost during that was Batrider. Pasha's the sacrificial lamb in order to get the tier 2 mid, but they also take out that pesky Venomancer. They take out Chen as well, and they get the Chen creep. And with Exorcism down, and with Lasso and Pasha down, just throwing creeps up into the air. It's fun, you know, get the last hit that way. Efficiency. Pasha's up and running though. Did you see ILTW? He's doing some casual farming over on the side. Will make himself scarce as Batrider comes around the corner. Let's see. We've got... what do we have for items? Iceberg just having a really difficult time on this Lena. You know, he picked up this Bloodstone a while ago, but he's got 8 deaths right now. Despite, you know, having Chen trying to heal him up, they just target him really, really heavily. I think he's been the lasso-y of choice in the last 2 to 3 fights. And of course, DK Phobos just cannot catch a break. I won't lie, part of me, you know, this is Venomancer. Does he deserve any sort of mercy? But yeah, he's having a real rough time. He's actually 10 and 13. So people have been very, you know, anti-Venomancer. They're like, how do you deal with this hero? Well, take a look at this game, guys, because that's how you deal with a Venomancer. VP not even really concerned. They're making sure that they target him, take him out of these fights as early as they can, grabbing hoods to make sure that they can keep themselves alive during these engagements. Here's your option. And the BKB pickup on Ramses now is going to make it even more difficult for the side of Spirit. less kiting, won't be affected by a lot of spells. Lots of mobility items over here in Bat Rider. A little hiding out here in the trees. They're looking to maybe get the jump. They actually spot ILTW. They roll forward immediately. They're waiting for that Shikuchi to be up. Pasha does find him over here on the corner. He goes ahead, he uses the dust, but in the meanwhile, Iceberg comes forward, gets the Laguna Blade off over onto Lil. And that fight quickly turns around. There's still a Pasha over here, and Light Strike Array comes out. That's another Bloodstone charge now for Iceberg, something that he sort
I deserve this.
Chivas is next on the list here for no one. Be able to slow them down a little bit more, cut back on their mobility, and just let Ramses run around once he's popped that BKB. Now they do have the sentry. Oh, Biver just gets two-shot. Oh, poor Biver. Now DK Phobos, for some reason he feels like maybe I can fight this with my Weaver here, but he's going to have to run himself out, and there's going to be the heal coming out from Chen. Soul Siphon coming out as well. Still giving chase onto ILTW. It looks like he should be able to get himself out, but Bonewalk, oh, Randy, so speedy. They do get the silence off. We'll be able to roll forward just maybe a little bit too far coming out from Lil. He's on the wrong side of the tracks here, but their eyes are still on the prize. ILTW, they want to get this kill. Lil, he's standing nearby, does find himself an FNG, and is waiting for Ramses to show up. Look at just that amount of damage coming out from these clanks. That Deso with the medallion and then the attack speed just melt these heroes. Poor Biver. Biver just took a look at him, and 2 shots, he was just toast. Now he's got his eyes over here onto these giant ancient creeps.
Illusion.
Roche is back up. No one's gonna use these lovely... It's not ladies, actually. What are these? Are these bats for this particular set? In any case, we'll go ahead that they can take this Roche really, really safely. Double damage rune actually outside. Ramses is gonna be even... No. How much damage does this guy do? This is like rapier levels, guys. This is so scary. These supports just can't go anywhere near this guy, or else they're just gonna get evaporated. Shrines get picked out. Ramsey's gonna go ahead, get his mana back up and running before they decide to go for the high ground here. I'm a little disappointed, I won't lie. I was hoping that we would see Ramses go get himself a pick off with this double damager and just see kind of like how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? How many hits does it take a Ramses to murder a hero on the side of the Dire? And I definitely sympathize with the supports over on the side of the Dire, because that's usually me who gets murdered. I'm usually the one person who's out on warding duty, and somehow there's just a Clinks there. But it's also one of those moments where you just kind of laugh. At least I do. I laugh really hard because, you know, I'm very squishy, and it seems so incredulous that I could get murdered that quickly. I think I also had a Kunkka one time that had Rapier, Daedalus, and all that. This was way back in the day, and he actually hit a creep wave and one-shot me with the cleave damage. So here we go. Pasha's getting into position here. He's looking for anyone he can grab. Iceberg's looking really good right now as Death Prophet comes forward here, has the cheese, doesn't have the exorcism up quite yet, but Ramses, he's got so much damage, they don't need it right now. All eyes on Pasha. Firefly just running out, actually. ILTW, he moves himself into position. They want to get the jump over here onto Clinks. He does have Aegis, though, so they're going to have to do a lot. BKB gets used, and FNG is going to be running away for his life. He's actually just going to get obliterated. Well plays coming out from Ramses. Indeed, they're really happy with this push. BKB is just about to go down. They're going to go ahead, TP themselves, push out this creep wave, and then probably just, repeat. Oh, but they find Biver. Looks like it was going to be 3 hits, and looks like no one will be able to follow up. There's a nice lasso coming out on ITW. He can't afford to be taken out like this. He will fall. Ramses still has that Aegis. He's sitting really, really low, about 60-something hit points, but they still fall. They get Iceberg. He has to use the suicide button on that Bloodstone. There are a ton of these little ghosts flying around. The GG gets called. The game will go yet again to Virtus Pro. Oh, Aegis finally gets popped at the very end. All right, guys, that was it for game number 2. This is a best of 5 series for the CIS closed qualifiers. Over here on ESL One Hamburg, we will have Forge back for game number 3, so you won't have to listen to me prattle on and on, but thank you for being patient and listening to me, and we'll see you back for game number 3.